Okay, so what I was saying is in past years, I have just given, or in past years, I have not just given students the data file and the input file for M+. I've given them a SAS file that they've had to open in SPSS and then save as a delimited file and then move that delimited file into M+. And the reason that I've done all this is because when you're done with this class, you've got to be able to do that, right? You've got to be able to take your own data and get it into M+. Right now, who feels comfortable that they could get their own data into M+? Whew, got a couple. So we're gonna go through this today, right? We're gonna walk through how to get your data into M+. There's really only two things that are needed: a a data file, a fairly ideally limited data file, because the way that M plus looks at data is you have a data file with no names in it, right? No variable names. It is just rows of data that are delimited by something. Um, and then it has names, a names list, and those names correspond to each variable in your data set based on that particular variable, right? Or that particular spot. So, in the homework this week, you guys will be doing this yourself. And so we're going to walk through how to do it today to make sure that you can do it. And then we will, I'm going to do it. You guys should do this in SPSS. I am going to do this in Stata. Doesn't matter. It's easy to do in either. Or you could, if you wanted, just do it in Excel, right? And that's maybe the easiest way to do this. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe today we'll just do it in Excel so I can show you how to do this. So let's grab, under homework, there's a data file already, right? Wrong class. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that was the right class, wasn't it? Oh, it's for, sorry, for your homework. So it says sas.hw, stata.hw. Let me just see if I have the stata file like saved as stata.
The same data set?
Yeah, exact same data set. Yeah. It doesn't quite look right. That is definitely not right. All right, so I'm going to download the data set too. So if you guys grab yours and open it in SPSS, you grab this. You can grab either one of these. And so in Stata, these are the, if you open it in SPSS, these are the variables that you should have: depression 1, 2, 3, 4, avoidance, distress tolerance, stress 1, 2, 3, 4, sex and age. Is that what everybody has?
PSS is still starting.
Ah, fair enough. Are we all good? Who is not good? Still waiting on SPSS. Okay. While the others are doing this, let's open a blank Excel workbook. We all good now? Nada? Good.
Open the file, but there's nothing in there.
Does it?
No.
Is it still opening down on the bottom? Can you see it like working?
Let me try again. Yeah, I already did that. I found it. And I'm not.
It didn't open.
Go, click on File. And now import data instead of open. And now SAS.
Thank you.
Are we good?
Yeah.
All right. So I am not 100% sure how this will look in SPSS, but I think that you can do it the exact same way. In Stata, I'm going to open up the data editor. So this is what the data looks like, right? And I am going to scroll over to age, and then I'm just going to scroll down. So I'm highlighting all of these variables. Make sense? Or all of these values. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to hit Control-C just to copy those values. I'm going to try and paste them all in over here. Okay, so it does paste them in, but because of how Stata does it, it also pastes in the names across the top. Do you guys have that as well?
No.
You guys do not have names pasted in across the top. It just looks like numbers. Okay, so I'm going to delete this out. Actually, what I'm going to do, because I'm going to need all of these later on, is I'm going to hit Control-C, and then just going to paste that in there. Oh, I don't like that. Paste special unformatted text. All right, so I've got my text there. And now I'm going to delete this out. If you guys haven't caught on yet, I love to use Excel for stuff, right? It's super easy, flexible. You can make codes and stuff. Make your charts. Okay, whatever. Everybody's look like this now.
We don't want the variable names on
Do not want variable names. You can copy those out, paste them in. You're going to want them for M+ later on, right? But for right now, unneeded. So. All right, now we can go like this. Are we all good? Everybody's data looks like this in Excel?
Mine are rounded. I don't know why.
Go to your settings and click more.
Does it make a difference if it's pushing the data into one column? You know, like separating it just by the comma and one column?
But
Or does it have to be like
it's
spaced
copied
out
from
different columns?
Excel.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like with the CSV file, like sometimes when you save it and then like, you reopen it, rather than it opening like in different columns, it puts everything just like in the
In a
first
single
column, it just
line?
separates it by.
Yeah, that should be fine. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. All right, so we're going to go File, Save As. Are we good? Okay, good. So go File, Save As. We're just going to call this new M+. We're going to save this as a CSV to our desktop. That's fine. All right. So now this is saved as a CSV. I close that out. I go to my desktop.
Wait, CSV like comma delimited or there's like multiple versions?
Oh, there are. Which one did I save it as? File. Save as. I just did comma separated values CSV. .csv. In truth, you could do Macintosh comma separated values, MS-DOS comma separated values. You could do this text, but then you have to specify like the delimiter in that case, right? I think that this is just the easiest one to do. I almost wonder about this one up here, but I don't know. This is all I've ever done is this. So, what's that?
Comma delimited.
Well, he has both. And he chose.
Comma?
Who's on a Mac too?
I am on a Mac. You have comma delimited?
I guess it's yeah.
It should be the same.
Where does he have that?
He's got a Mac, we know.
I have, yeah, I'm on a Mac, so it's going to be different.
Oh, yeah, it's at the top.
Yeah, but that's the same thing as the
This.
CSV.
Okay, so we might have to trial and error this because I don't do this very often. So we'll see how this goes. Everybody try and save it as one of those things.
Well, in R, you use comma delimited, so it's probably that.
I think it's going to be roughly the same, yes. Well, let's open this in text edit once just to see what it looks like. So this is what mine looks like in text edit. I can see that everything is arranged in roughly a column. How about you guys? Yeah, no, maybe?
Yes.
I mean, if you open your guys' in text edit, do you get the long string, Anthony? That's what you were worried about.
I actually ended up fixing it.
Oh.
I did it. It was bothering me.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So we have these comma separated values. Are we all good? Does everybody have a CSV file now saved to your desktop or somewhere called new M+? Okay. The easiest way to do this in M+ then is to open up any M+ file, and this is saved as a .dat, but we can save this as new m+.csv, or we can access new m+.csv. And I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to save this to my desktop, right? Because it has to be saved to your desktop in order to access that file, right? Your input file and your data file have to be saved at in the same spot, in the same directory. The reason that I'm using just this stuff here is all irrelevant, right? Title, we can just say hi. Names are important. And so for this, I'm going to flip back over to this thing that I did. And I am going to grab these names. And I'm going to paste these names in here.
Where did you get the names?
Well, I grabbed those from remember I copied them from the Excel file initially? Right before I deleted them, they were in the top of my Excel file. Alternatively, you can get them from the variable names that are listed in your SPSS file. Just make sure that they're in the right order for your variables. And because I did this, I'm going to have to do this for each one. somebody in here was running into issues with their variables running too far. Who was that? Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing the same thing here. I am making sure that they're not too far apart. So in M+, there is some sort of imaginary line around here that if your variable names or your anything runs beyond that, it will cut it off, right? And then it will give you weird error messages that you're struggling to figure out, like, why is it saying that this is on the left side and it shouldn't be on the left side? It doesn't make any sense. And that's usually what's going on there. This over, this, whoops.
Like M plus error messages half the time have nothing to do with the error that's happening.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. So frustrating. All right, so we're just going to throw all of these into our use variable list. And I think I can comment that out for right now. Are we all up to this spot?
What processing goes to?
Oh, don't worry. If you have two processors in your computer, which this computer doesn't, but some computers have like dual or quad processors, then it will make sure that M+ activates all 4 processors for the analysis, which will speed up. It speeds up your analysis time. The default is to use 1 processor on your computer. So I think we are all good to go here. Let's run this and see. Didn't like it. Cannot be found. Is that not what I called it?
Should be the same folder.
What's that?
It should have the same folder where you stored the input file.
Yeah, I thought that I
Do you
just.
only put the name of the file or
That's the same thing.
the whole like root to it?
Did you do .csv instead of .dat?
I did do .csv. It's giving me the same issue.
This is the first time I ran into yours. It makes me feel good.
Yours ran?
Yeah.
So you have yours saved to your desktop then?
No, I just saved them both in my
Same folder.
folder.
Same
that-
folder.
So I wonder if that's the issue.
Desktop is a big folder.
Let's do this file, save as.
Oh, that's definitely my issue.
Dropbox. All right, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna move this over to Dropbox. Come on. There we go. Control X, Dropbox. ARM3. I think just pasting this in anywhere here should work. Did it actually paste it in or no? All right, let's try this again. There we go. Now it ran. I did need to just move it to a folder. Apparently it can't just use my desktop as the folder. And so, yeah, we should get basically nothing, but here's all of our, should have 400 observations, depression 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can test this to make sure that these things look kind of right. So depression 1 should have a mean of 6.02 and a variance of 2.4414. Let's come over here. Let's go sum. Did I say depression 2? Should be that. Let's look. I think it's actually depression 1. What was depression 2? No, it was depression 1. It's 0.6023 and 1.55, blah, blah, blah. 0.602. Oh, that was the variance. I was looking at the standard deviation. Variance 2.412, 2.41, oh, 2.414. Did I not say that right? Well, that's interesting because we don't quite get the same variance. I wonder why that is. That's weird. No, that's weird. 2.41, so this is 2.412, and this is 2.414.
Could it just be like the way the algorithms are set up? Like,
Yeah, so actually, that's a good point. Let's do this. If we run it using maximum likelihood instead of maximum likelihood with robust standard errors, because one is using OLS and one is using ML. Oh, it still gives us 2.414. You have 2.415
Yes.
Me too.
in SPSS or in M+. That is super weird. Yeah.
That's a question what I made. Like, so I went back to my original like the data file. I have 400 lines, but whenever I run it, it only runs 200. Like half of it.
Ooh, that's
weird.
Because like where you have 400 for everything, I just have 200.
yeah. There's something wrong there.
Start the data from scratch and then reboot it.
Does it? Open your data file using a text editor. I'm curious what it looks like. Anybody else getting that? 200 instead of 400?
And to me, it looks like what you had on your.
Okay.
Do it.
So
I ran like all of the variances and means and like the descriptors and SPSS, and I got them identical to what I got in plus. SPSS gives me the identical same output.
say that again. I don't understand.
SPSS and plus the mirror gives me the same like graph thing
The exact same variance.
for everything.
I wish that mine was. That
Can you
is.
put that a line at the bottom of your data?
Well, the problem is I have 400 people, so it's tapping into everybody. My range is minus 4.51 to 4.41. I don't know what the deal is. I assume that it's actually an issue with
Different minimum maximum.
so do I. Minus 4.515 minus 4.515. That's right, actually. And 4.417. 4.417, that's right. My guess is that there's a slight difference in how. So, you know, when you're calculating standard deviation and variance, you're summing things up and then you are dividing it by n or by n minus 1. And I'm going to guess that stata is dividing by n minus 1 and that m plus is dividing by n. That would be my guess.
Could it just be like rounding errors too?
Yeah, I
Or
mean, I
maybe
would.
like m plus when it takes into account like certain amount of digits after the decimal.
It could be. Yeah, that it could be rounding errors. which, assuming that it only goes to like 3 spots, which is what we see here, right? Then across the whole kind of
Right.
gamut of data, we might get one that says 0.402 versus 0.404 or something like that. That's the most likely explanation, right? So I wish that I could get. Well, it doesn't matter. All right. So the big question is, oh, Aaron, yours still is not working?
Yeah, I started from scratch on the CSV file.
Okay.
So it cuts the data off at 200.
Well, how far on names are you going?
It's copied the same way yours is, except my name isn't tabbed in.
Okay, and depression is all the way over like this?
Yeah. Avoidance is on the second line though.
So you have avoidance here, like this. And then does this keep stretching out like this? Do you have 3 lines of names or 2?
Well, I just moved avoidance back up to where you had it.
Okay.
And it all matches.
So do me a favor and go like this and like hit backspace on each one of these.
Okay.
Because there could be a formatting issue that M plus is not. And then hit space once. Does everyone else's look correct or appropriate? Okay. And same with the USVARs list. Does your USVARs end at depression 4 and have avoidance right here, and then have sex or age lined up directly with depression 4, Aaron?
No, I ended depression 4 and then start the next line at avoidance and goes all the way up to age.
Ah.
So I'll try this.
Yeah, go hit enter, like right below depression 4. Just break it into 3 lines.
Because they are very long.
It would be nice if they like provided a line where it like should end. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I agree. It would be nice if they would do that. There's so many times that I have struggled. Yeah. There are so many times that I have sat there and struggled for hours maybe trying to figure out what I had done wrong when it was really just that line. Imagine the trial and error. Like nobody told me this. This was trial and error figuring this out. And then I was like, are you kidding me? This can't really be a deal, right? But it is. It's a deal.
Is it not a character, like number of characters?
90
limit?
characters.
It's 90 characters, yeah. And it actually says that. Like, it'll say, like, line exceeds 90 characters, right? And I think it says that a lot of times for input stuff that doesn't matter. Like, I'll have, like, a whole sentence for a question, and it'll say, like, exceeds 90 characters in this line, this line, this line, this line. And I think that's probably way back when I was a grad student, that I figured out, like, oh, also, it doesn't matter if it says exceeds 90 characters in the title, but it surely does if it's down here in the variable list. Aaron, how are we doing?
I get it stuff for all the variable names, but it still just cuts it at 200. We're gonna mess something up over here.
says the variable distress in the comments side is continuous. How many variables do we have in this data set? Sorry, Tony.
12
11?
Avoidance.
or 11.
Oh, 12. You're right. Sorry.
12.
You do have fun.
Because it said one of these variables is declared as. Distress tolerance, how you think the tolerance would declare as good.
Did you have your PM and AM series there?
Monday.
Oh, is that a Monday thing?
Yeah.
I want to sit in on that one.
Sure.
Is it in the business building?
Yeah. Monday the 18th.
Business 1 or 2?
This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You only have 7 variables.
Why is that?
I don't know.
I looked through the quest, I saw it on Facebook. I was like,
Oh, it's because you only highlighted.
I saw that.
Alright, there we go. Problem
Wait,
solved.
what was the issue?
He didn't have all of the variables highlighted when he did the copy over. Yeah.
It happens to
So, all right. That is how we get data into M+. Any questions about that? We good to go there?
I actually, okay, so this may be a very stupid question. How did you start a new input file?
Oh, I just opened an old input file
Okay.
and like you can
So
do.
Is there a
you
way to, because that's what I did now, but I figured there has
Yeah,
to
you
be a
can
way to
just
open a new one.
hit this little white button here, and it opens a new input file, and you can start typing. Or you can go File, New, and it says Diagram 8, but if you go File, Save As, you can save that as a.
Oh, so that little text file that opens like by default every time you open M+, that can be turned into an input file?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But like I said, in order to avoid mistakes, your easiest route is just to start a new input file using an old input file that you've already got. So, make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we will start working on the slopes and intercepts as outcomes. Sound good? Good.
So,